how did you find us?
That's a good question. I want to say I found you guys. Okay, I remember now. A friend of mine that's a personal trainer at Foley's Fitness. I had talked to him. I was like, I'm kind of turning into an old man, and I feel like I could use a little help. And he had recommended me to come check out you guys out over here. Yeah.
Okay, so what were you really kind of looking for? What were some of the challenges you were facing?
Well, I just kind of felt like I was slipping a little bit, like slipping into old age. Like all of a sudden, I just was always used to having high energy, just working a lot, and then just like always doing a lot of stuff, still going to the gym, and then all of a sudden, felt my health was slipping a little bit, the energy levels were declining, just a lot of classic symptoms of low testosterone, really. So that was what prompted me to come in here. I wanted to get my levels checked and see if maybe I could get myself feeling better, more healthy.
And then, do you remember, I know it was a while ago, that discovery call that you had, like that first interaction with us?
Oh, yes, I do.
Do you remember anything about it, or?
Yeah, I think it was kind of started just like this here. Do you mean the testimonial part, or was it?
No, like when you first called, or when you first made that appointment, you have that discovery call.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, I don't remember anything about it.
Okay.
But some people are like, I had this experience and I can't forget it.
Yeah, no, I don't really remember a whole lot about the initial conversation about what got me in here. I just remember coming in with like a handful of symptoms, and they were pretty helpful here. Just to let's check it and see what we can help with.
Okay. So what about that first visit here where you got your labs drawn and the in-body?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, I remember just feeling like I got a lot of work to do, really. And I'm thankfully, with the in-body, my numbers have improved a lot since the first time I came here.
Have you done an in-body before?
I guess I have.
Oh,
yeah.
So you were familiar?
No, I hadn't done before I came here. Basically, this is like my first go round with it. But it's been pretty helpful just as to see where progress is going.
Yeah. And what about our team?
I like the team a lot here. Everybody's really helpful and friendly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now let's go to that provider visit, that first provider visit. Who do you see?
Gabe's my doctor.
All right. Love Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe's awesome.
So what do you remember about going into that first visit and then versus coming out?
Well, I think really I kind of went into it thinking pretty one-dimensional. Like really, I'm just like, I have low test symptoms. Like probably I just need to be on a TRT program and everything will be all right, or things will start to improve. But it honestly has been a lot more than that, because some of the stuff with vitamins, like I think now, like I have Google, and like I just feel like sometimes I'm more informed about things than I really am. Like then you talk to people like you guys who are more in the know than I was when I came here, and still are. Like little things, I can just tell you one thing was like, I would go cheap on vitamins a lot of times. I would take like things like magnesium oxide for one thing. I didn't know any different from magnesium oxide from another thing, but coming to find out it's a really cheap form of magnesium that's not particularly beneficial. I'm taking a much better form that does a lot for me, and I could say like pretty much every vitamin that my blood work has dictated that I need to be on, like you guys have got me on better vitamins than I were taking that are more helpful, and I'm seeing better results from it.
Awesome. And then post that first visit with Gabe, right? Well, do you remember what your first treatment plan was to kind of where you are now?
Yes, they had put me on an initial dose of test that was working pretty well for me. We've made a little bit of an adjustment, like more recently, just up my dosage a little bit because the numbers had dictated that was the thing to do. We're just going from there now. Did more blood work today just to see, where things are now.
Yeah. And how many visits have you had with Gabe? Do you know?
I want to say it's probably right around like a half dozen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't usually get to ask people this. Like, I've never done a secondary testimonial, right? You're the first.
Yep.
So what can you kind of say about that journey of care?
I'd say this is really helpful through and through, like, just because a lot of times just got to check things out and see where we're at. And then also it's like, I've had times where I've come, it's like, it's cool when you come and like things are looking good and everything's improving, but then also sometimes like it's like, all right, we got to look at some things and like see what we can do to make things better.
Yeah.
So progress isn't stalling out.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about those challenges that you were facing? What about now?
I'd say I'm just a lot better overall. Better health. I've lost a lot of body fat, like put on a lot more lean muscle mass. Feel better energy levels. Things like that.
Awesome.
Yep.
And what about have you ventured like outside of vitamins? Have you ventured outside of testosterone?
Yeah, I have done a little bit of peptide therapy as well.
What do you think about it?
I think it's awesome. Really, really awesome. Yeah, pretty amazing. Some of the benefits that are able to be had from it.
Because I know you said you went to the gym, somebody recommended us. Did you see anybody in between them? Like, did you go to your conventional care? And what did they say?
I do see my primary doctor from time to time. I will say not a whole heck of a lot. It's like kind of like one of those things, like if I have check up here and there just for things or whatever, but I let him know what I'm doing here and whatnot, but I wouldn't say like he's done a whole heck of a lot in the way of complimenting what I'm doing here or whatever. Just let him know what I was doing, and so that they can provide proper care accordingly with that.
So functional medicine in general, did you know much about it coming in?
No, not particularly.
Okay. And if you were to describe functional medicine to somebody now who doesn't particularly know a lot, what would you say?
I would say you should give it a go for sure. Yeah, like actually one of my friends just asked me the other day, like they said, hey, I'm seeing Mid-Matrix ad, and I think it's because you like the page or something like that. So she had asked me about like going here and would I recommend it and what kind of services you guys offer and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about like, if she was like, what is functional medicine? What is it actually? How would you explain it?
Functional medicine is like, basically you do your labs and, what your blood work dictates, a lot of these things, you do the blood work and then that will dictate what can help you or what protocols you guys have that might work for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about pain points, right? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, this is outside of the conventional scope. This is not something I've really heard about before.
Yeah.
This is expensive. I don't have enough information about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do you address that?
Well, I would just say like the best thing you can do is just talk, come in and explore, ask questions and then see if it works for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And is there, I guess, anything that you talked about in your last testimonial that you're thinking about now or has changed, or I don't know?
I think probably the only thing was, I think since the last time I did one, I did have a meeting with Brian that was particularly helpful.
Okay.
He was real good at, he just gave me a pretty good shoot to the ass that helped me put some things in perspective. I was kind of thinking short term, like when I had come in, I was like, I just really want to tone up for the summer or whatever. He really was like you got to think about like what can you do that will be consistent, like you want to be on a consistent path. And I told him a couple things like occasionally I have sciatica situation, so he helped me with a protocol that would work around that and do pretty well. And I have been really consistent about doing my stuff since then. I was a little bit sporadic, and even now it's summer and I'm doing a lot of summer fun stuff, but I am staying on top of it and getting some work in when I can.
We can't, do it for you. We can tell you what to do.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So I don't have any more questions, but is there anything else that you want to say?
No, I just would say that you guys are doing a great job. I'm glad I came in here. It's helped me a great deal. And I could plan on coming in here for the long haul.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. All my questions.
All right, cool.